Are you more or less likely to support Extinction Rebellion? Now they have said they will no longer be pursuing civil disobedience. Instead, they are going to stick to lawful protest. Cameron in Cambridge. Hello, good evening. What's your take? I understand you're a member of Insulate Britain.
Yes, I am indeed.
So just to remind the listeners who perhaps are just tuning in, Insulate Britain, your statement here reads, Insulate Britain wishes Extinction Rebellion well, along with everyone currently involved in non-violent resistance. And then you go on to say supporters of Insulate Britain are prepared to continue to risk being sent to prison, with 13 supporters still in prison over Christmas. Have they got it wrong?
I don't think they've got it wrong. No, I think we're at a point of desperation. I mean, the climate science is absolutely irrefutable, and they are trying something different to get people to get off of their armchairs and get active and not just watch our planet and our ecosystem and all of the people that we love around us perish. So they are trying something different, and I do applaud them for that. We might have a difference of opinion. That's fine. I think a diversity of tactics is great.
OK, so Insulate Britain, of which you are an activist, are going to continue your methods of civil disobedience. Why have you chosen civil disobedience as a method of protest?
It's based on historical examples of how social change happens. And I think social change has shown that you have a moderate flank and a radical flank, and both of them are necessary. You can't just have one. And XR at the beginning was the radical flank, and it drove people perhaps that didn't want to join XR to Greenpeace or Friends of the Earth and those such things. And then new methods came about in Insulate Britain and Just Stop Oil, up the ante even more. And now Extinction Rebellion is trying to basically say, well, OK, to all of the listeners listening right now, all the people who have ever said to Insulate Britain or Just Stop Oil, I agree with what they're saying, but I don't like the method. OK, XR is giving you the method. Are you going to join them?
But can I just go
100,000 is nothing compared, to all the people that we've heard absolutely up in arms about our method.
OK, so what you're saying, if I've understood it correctly, Cameron, what you're saying is we're in a climate crisis. What a climate crisis needs is, in some cases, what some people might consider extreme methods, which includes civil disobedience. So that means breaking the law. What does breaking the law get Insulate Britain? What do you derive from it?
It got the Labour government saying that insulation is a national mission. I mean, you even got the Conservative government calling their Great British Insulation Scheme, almost calling it Insulate Britain.
Right, so you can bring about political change through radical action, which is civil disobedience, which is exactly what Martin Luther King did, which is exactly what Gandhi did, which is exactly what the suffragettes did. So if that gets you headlines and it gets policy change, why in the same breath are you saying that you support XR withdrawing from civil disobedience? Isn't what XR doing is actually leaving you and your members to pick up the real bill, which is arrest, criminal records that literally will personally damage your chances potentially of getting a job, for example?
Sure, yeah, it sucks that we're in this situation where we have to make this decision, but we have to make this decision. People are welcome to join Just Stop Oil if that is what they believe, like we do, that is what it takes. People are welcome to join Extinction Rebellion if they believe that mass occupation out Parliament is what it takes. People are also welcome to continue sitting in their armchair and saying no, 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 whilst keeping their fingers crossed that it's going to solve itself. No one is coming to save us here. So people have a choice now, and they can't just keep complaining. I'm not saying that Extinction Rebellion's got it right or we've got it right. I'm just saying that we're desperate for people to mobilise now. I mean, the time is running out. Everybody knows that now.
So, Cameron, what Extinction Rebellion will say is they are reading the room and they have read it rightly. Why can't you read the room too and give up civil disobedience and make it, as they are attempting to do, a more inclusive movement that does not alienate people?
Well, we just have a difference of opinion. But unlike, politicians, we can have a difference of opinion without
We've just had two callers on air who said, actually, this is working straight away. I'm going to start supporting them because I was actually quite fed up of them laying themselves in the middle of the road and stopping us, for example, from getting our kids to school or getting our loved ones to hospital.
Great. I look forward to seeing the hundreds of thousands of people outside London on the 21st of April. There are also people who are going to be hearing what XR is doing and saying, no, I don't think that's the methodology that we need right now in this climate emergency. And so I'm going to join the methodology of Insulate Britain or Just Stop Oil.
With XR, which, as you say, by your admission, was once the most radical arm of the climate change movement. With XR now
absolutely.
going, let's call it mainstream, doesn't that make Insulate Britain and Just Stop Oil look like, frankly, a bunch of extremists?
It's up to you what you think, really. Like, at the end of the day, we've got two options here. We can either do nothing and keep hoping for the best, or we can do something. We're giving you two somethings now, so I don't really care what people think about us. Like, we're not a political party looking for views. We have a methodology
but you're a pressure group,
that
aren't
we
you?
think is
As
vital.
are XR. What makes
that doesn't
no
make
sense?
us a political group.
You're a pressure group is what I'm saying. You want to bring about policy change.
Yeah.
You're a political pressure
Yes.
group, so you want to bring about change in policy. Nobody's suggesting for a second that you're standing for election to become MPs. That's not what I'm suggesting for a second. But what I'm saying is that what XR have done has basically cut the legs out from under you in terms of protest, because what they are saying is that actually you don't have to be extreme, you don't have to be radical in the way that you're radical. Why don't you just change your tactics as well and actually create what they are calling a mainstream inclusive movement?
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal, and my opinion isn't really important here, honestly. What is important is that we have unity. It's so easy for social movements to fall apart when they're all wanting the same thing ultimately, and they're just going about it in different ways. And let's watch the media over the next few days. Try and drive a wedge between these different social movements. My priority is that we give the climate crisis the absolute integrity of action that it needs. That's my priority. I don't care whether they have a different methodology or they're making me look like I'm an extremist. That's not my issue. So I think we need to look at it as a priority right now. I'm not going to fall out with them like the media wants us to, because, you know, that's what's good for undermining political change. We are here as a unified movement. We stand with strikers. We stand with Extinction Rebellion. We stand with the people in prison right now. We stand with the people in Insulate Britain who are spending the next 6 months going in and out of the court system for what we did, even though we've been vindicated for it. You know, we stand together because that is what we need right now. We need people to come together in whatever way that is and bring about the radical change that's needed.
Understood. Cameron in Cambridge, thank you very much indeed for your call.